There's something no one tells you about being smart. It doesn't always feel like a gift. Sometimes, it feels like a weight you never asked to carry. A weight that sits on your chest at 2 a.m. when everyone else is sleeping peacefully. And your brain is still running, still processing, still analyzing, still asking questions that have no answers. And the worst part? You can't explain it to anyone, because from the outside, it looks like you have it all together. You notice things other people walk right past without a second thought. A slight shift in someone's tone, a pause that lasted just a little too long, a smile that didn't quite reach their eyes, a change in behavior so small, most people would never catch it. But you do, you always do. And at first, you think that's a good thing. You think being aware, being perceptive, being able to read between the lines is an advantage. But then reality sets in. You realize you can't turn it off. Not at work, not with friends, not with the people you love, not even when you desperately want to just relax and be present. Your brain is always running in the background, always scanning, always processing, always searching for patterns, meanings, inconsistencies. You're analyzing the conversation while you're still inside it. You're reading the room before you've even sat down. And that constant, never-ending mental activity is exhausting in a way that sleep doesn't fix. But here's what's interesting. This isn't just about being tired. There's something much deeper happening inside you. Something that goes beyond fatigue. Something that touches the way you connect, the way you love, the way you see yourself. And most people never talk about it. When you're smart, you process everything faster than the people around you. You see the outcome before the situation even fully unfolds. You already know how the conversation is going to end. You already feel the disappointment before it actually arrives. You already sense the distance in a relationship before anyone says a word about it. And people around you don't understand why you're already upset about something that technically hasn't happened yet. They call it overthinking. They tell you you're being paranoid, sensitive, dramatic. But it's not overthinking. It's your brain doing exactly what it was built to do, predicting, preparing, protecting you. The problem isn't your brain. The problem is, no one else is running at your speed. And that gap, that invisible distance between how you experience the world and how everyone else does, that's where the loneliness lives. Not the kind of loneliness that comes from being alone in a room, the kind that comes from being surrounded by people and still feeling completely unseen. You've felt this before. That moment in the middle of a conversation where you suddenly realize you're already 3 steps ahead. And so you slow yourself down, you simplify your words, you hold back the full depth of what you're actually thinking. Not because you're being fake, not because you're trying to deceive anyone, but because you've learned that showing all of yourself makes people uncomfortable. You've learned that your full capacity is too much for most rooms. So you edit yourself, you filter, you translate your thoughts into something more digestible. You do this more than you realize, and every time you do, a small part of you disappears. Be honest. How many times have you stayed quiet in a conversation because you knew that speaking your actual thoughts would just complicate everything? How many times have you pretended not to know something just so someone else could feel smart? How many times have you laughed at a joke you didn't find funny just to avoid the awkward silence of being different? How many times have you made yourself smaller so the room around you could feel bigger? That's not kindness. That's not humility. That's loneliness dressed up as patience. That's isolation disguised as social grace. And you've been doing it for so long. You've forgotten what it feels like to just be fully, unapologetically yourself. Wait, look at this carefully. Really look at it. Maybe this isn't just something you feel in certain situations. Maybe this is who you've become. Someone who automatically hides their depth. Someone who unconsciously translates themselves for every room they walk into. Someone who has spent so many years making themselves easier for others that they no longer know what their unfiltered self even looks like. This fear isn't just inside you. It is you. And what comes next might make you uncomfortable. Because this pattern, this invisible shrinking, it doesn't stay contained. It bleeds into everything. Your relationships, your ambitions, the way you love, the way you let yourself be loved. When you're smart, your standards are naturally high. Not because you're arrogant, not because you think you're better than anyone, but because you can see what's possible. You can see what people could be if they chose to grow. You can see what a relationship could feel like if both people were truly honest. You can see what your life could look like if everything aligned the way it should. And when reality doesn't match that vision, it doesn't just disappoint you, it devastates you. Because you're not disappointed by something vague. You're disappointed by a specific vivid picture in your mind of what could have been. People tell you to lower your expectations. They say it like it's simple, like it's just a mental switch you can flip. But lowering your expectations doesn't feel like peace to you. It feels like surrender. It feels like agreeing to live a smaller life than the one you can clearly imagine. And that tension between what you can see and what you're living, that is one of the heaviest things about being the way you are. You want deep, real connection, but you can't force yourself to be present in conversations that feel shallow and meaningless. You want love, but you can't fully trust someone who doesn't understand how your mind works, who gets confused by your silences, who takes your depth personally. You want to belong somewhere, but every room you walk into, you feel like you're watching from behind a glass window, close enough to see everything happening inside, far enough that none of the warmth reaches you. You want to be loved, but you don't trust that anyone can love all of you. The full version. The complicated, deep, exhausting, beautiful version. If this is resonating with you, stay. Don't leave yet. Because this is where it gets real. Here's the truth no one says out loud. Being smart doesn't protect you from pain. It amplifies it. You feel betrayal more deeply than most people. Not because you're weak, but because you trusted someone after already seeing all the reasons not to, and you chose to anyway. That takes courage. And when it breaks differently. You grieve longer, not because you can't move on, but because your mind keeps returning to the moment, replaying it, analyzing it, looking for the exact sentence, the exact decision, the exact second where everything changed. You lie awake at 3 a.m. not because you're dramatic, but because your brain is still working, still trying to find the lesson, still trying to make sense of something that maybe just doesn't make sense. Your brain is a powerful machine, but powerful machines need more fuel than ordinary ones. More rest, more silence, more time alone to decompress and reset. And the people around you don't always understand why you need so much of that. They think you're being distant, cold, antisocial, but you're not cold. You're just carrying more weight than they can see. This is what you don't say out loud, that sometimes, just sometimes, you wish you could turn it off. Just for one day. One single day where you don't analyze every interaction, where you don't replay conversations looking for hidden meanings, where you don't see the ending of things before they've even begun. Just one day of existing simply, quietly, without the constant noise of understanding too much. You felt this, even if you've never said it to anyone. But here's what I want you to hear. Your depth is not a defect. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. The fact that you feel more, see more, process more, carry more, that is not a curse. That is a capacity. A rare, powerful, beautiful capacity that most people will never fully understand because they don't have access to it. The problem was never your intelligence. The problem was never who you are. The problem was being in spaces that were too small for you. Being surrounded by people who didn't know how to hold space for your depth. Being told over and over again, in small and large ways, that you were too much. You were never too much. You were just in the wrong rooms. You don't need to shrink anymore. You don't need to translate yourself into something simpler. You don't need to edit your thoughts before you speak them, or hide your observations to make someone else comfortable, or pretend to be less than you are just to fit in. Somewhere in this world, there are people who will sit with your depth and not flinch. People who will match your pace instead of asking you to slow down. People who will find your mind fascinating instead of exhausting. People who will love the full version of you. The complicated, layered, beautiful, difficult, extraordinary version. You haven't found all of them yet. But that doesn't mean they don't exist. It just means you haven't stopped shrinking long enough for them to find you. So the next time your brain won't stop at midnight, the next time you feel 3 steps ahead and completely alone in a crowded room, the next time someone tells you that you think too much, feel too much, expect too much, remember this. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are not a burden. You are just running on a frequency that most people haven't learned to hear yet. And that's not something to be ashamed of. That's something rare, something worth protecting, something worth being. Write in the comments, when was the last time being smart felt more like a curse than a gift?